We're at 1629 North Crescent Heights Boulevard in West Hollywood, California. We're performing a video sewer inspection through the mainline cleanout to the right of the front entranceway. We're going to attempt to run through here, get all the way out to the city sewer. Clean off the camera lens and kind of in the bushes right by the main water meter, or right by the main connection to the house, excuse me, where the regulator is. And this is the back deck off the side of the house. Those are the hedges along the front of the house. That's the backyard. We're going to run through this 4-inch mainline clean out and attempt to get all the way out to the city sewer. Right now we do have ABS plastic that we're running down into. Those joints appear to be in good condition. Those joints appear to be in good condition as well. Then we transition to vitreous clay, and we do have an offset at that point. We're out 22 feet. Got a minor offset, it's not major at this point. It's just a connection. More than likely they used a coupling that has a little bit of play in it. As long as we don't have root intrusion or any major breaks, we should be okay. We got a pretty good fall from what we could see. Got another clay joint. Looks like we did have some root intrusion in this joint. This line may have been hydrojetted, possibly, from the way it looks, because we have little stubs of roots that are sticking out from that joint. Got a little bit of an offset at that joint as well. And we have a little bit of an offset at this joint. Another clay joint. We did have some root intrusion here. Again, this line more than likely has been hydrojetted from what we can see. We do have some root intrusion in that turn, and that's at 30 feet, which we're going to go out and we're going to locate that after, once we've run all the way out. So that's at 30 feet. Make a turn. That joint appears to be in pretty good condition.
Yeah, we're trying to do as much as we can at the property when we come out, when it's minor stuff like that. You don't have to Mike, he's going to move his van out. I don't know if it's... You want to move your van?
We're going to pause for a moment right here. Okay, we will continue recording at this point. As we go in the turn, we have water standing, and we have a fairly large offset right here as we go into this turn at 34 feet. You can see the roots there as well. We're going to see if we can jump this area, and we did. Pull back slowly. You can see there's roots, and then we drop down. We drop down in the water. We have a very large offset at 35 feet. So we jumped over that area, and now the next area we're holding water again in that section. We can't tell whether it's really offset or not. It appears that it is. It appears that it has a very large separation from what we can see, and we have a very large root intrusion. We go down to the next joint, and we have a root intrusion here. And then we have an offset with roots as well in that joint. Now we're holding water again. We're holding water here. And then we have root intrusion at that joint. Trying to get through that area. Can't really see it real great. We have root intrusion at the next joint, and then root intrusion at the next joint. So we have a lot of root intrusion. Can't even tell if that's a joint for sure. We're in it. It may just be a crack in the pipe. There's the joint. Very hard to tell. It appears that the section may be broken right there from what we can see. But again, like I said, it's very difficult to tell. It does look like it may be at a joint, but apparently it is probably cracked at that point as well. Now we're dropping down. We appear to have transitioned. We look like we're in a bigger piece of pipe. Very difficult to tell right here. I believe that this is the 4 to 6 transition right at 43 feet. And then we get into the 6-inch. We're going to go ahead and we're going to mark this out at 43 feet. Richard. This is Dale. Okay. Thank you. Come on in. All yours. We got started garage? Okay.
And there's if you want to go that way or turn back, there's a door outside.
Okay, great. No, I can get around to it.
What's that?
There's quite a few root intruded joints.
Okay.
There's some offset joints. One that's pretty prominent back up underneath the wall. No, you'd have to dig. The best thing to do is we pick up where the plastic was stopped at, and then dig down here where I've marked it, right by the curb, and then pull a new piece of pipe up underneath that. You can just pull a piece. You don't have to dig it all up.
How do you pull the piece of the curb?
You put a cable, put a steel cable through that line, and then you...
How do you know that side of the street? You're saying
to the sidewalk area, right to the curb.
Yeah. Okay.
So we take out that section of sidewalk.
Oh, okay, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Take out the
Oh, yeah.
sidewalk.
Yeah, that's not big. We do it every day.
Yeah.
Just on here, you can see it,
Yeah.
where it's pretty well separated, holding the water.
Well, there used to be a big tree here. It fell over.
gotta look at it some more and see what's going on. I don't know exactly what it looks like in the screen. You gotta see it. Sometimes
Tell her something else. She's not going to do anything now.
yeah, that's
That's
up to them.
That's to fall out of the whole house. Yeah, it'd be interesting.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
You know what, this guy really wants the house.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know that that's going to be a deterrent.
Yeah, I just hate to see that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, this guy's, this guy's an aerospace engineer. I can't even tell you this stuff.
But this guy, the buyer,
He's such a sweet guy.
Chip's pretty easy.
He's so nice.
Yeah.
Such a nice guy. So, yeah.
Chip's pretty easy going, you never know.
Yeah, this has got cameras all over the house. I don't even know.
Yeah.
Recorded or whatever.
I hear you. Yeah.
Get me out.
Keep your hands in your pocket.
Get me out.
I hear you.
I can't even do that.
Yeah.
That might be awkward.
Yeah. Okay, we've located this area. This is transition right at the sidewalk area. And we've got some large root intrusion here. Richard, I don't know if you want to see this or not.
I did.
You want to come back in here with me? I'll turn it this way. We'll see it. Okay. So we've got quite a bit of root intrusion. It's holding water there at that point. I'm going to go in further real quick and just take a look at the 6-inch pipe. And in the 6-inch pipe, we've got pretty large root intrusion there as well. Let's see what the rest of it looks like. That joint looks pretty good. It's a short lateral because that close. That joint looks pretty decent. And we have pretty large root intrusion there as well. See if I get past it. Okay, I'm gonna have to run water after to try and get past that point. I don't want to get you soaked. So that's okay. We'll do that after, but I want to show you this other area too. Let's see if I can get back here. Get into some water to where I can rinse this camera lens off. There we go. And that one. Yeah, that next joint behind it. Right here is where you see the face of the pipe. The camera's actually butting up into the face of the pipe right there. That thing's just really offset, and that's right up underneath the wall. That's that one joint. It's really hard to see because it's in the turn. The water settled down a little bit. Right there, we're right up against it. And I have to kind of jump over it a little bit, and then when I pull back, you'll see we're going to drop down. So all of a sudden we drop down quite a bit. It's shifted.
Okay. And that's under the wall.
Yeah, that's under the wall. That joint's broken.
Oh, you want me to get out now?
Yeah. Now I'll go ahead and I'm going to run some water and see if I can get all the way out there into the city sewer. If the joints are not too bad out in the city sewer, even though you have that large root intrusion, if we open up the sidewalk and pull the pipe from where the ABS stops here to that point at the sidewalk, then we can shoot a liner into the street, which is a lot less expensive than opening the street, especially on this street. You have to have major traffic control.
Right.
So that's not too bad.
Okay.
All in all, we'll see what it looks like. As long as it's not separated and really broken badly, and it can be cleaned up and shoot the liner, that's not bad.
Okay.
We'll see here shortly. And I will let you know or show you. Hopefully I'm going to see if I can get enough water running down here. I'm going to get this water running. Little clip. There we go. I'll keep this thing open. They put this thing on permanently. No, if we can run a tub, if we can run a bathtub,
Just run
cold water,
cold water.
hard, that would be great if you could do that.
Leave it on?
Yeah, just leave it running. Richard, I'll try and get this all the way out, and then we'll shut it off.
Okay.
Thank you.
Actually have there's a basic sink. Can I put this one on?
Sure,
Or is
sure.
that one right there?
Yeah, that should work fine. I'm gonna try and get back out here again. 43 feet there. Get all the way into the sink. Got water running in the sink. Try and run this fast, so hopefully we can get past this spot. No, we need a bathtub running too.
Bathtub running
Yeah, we're gonna see if we can float this camera over the roots. The roots are pretty tough. Thank you.
Good, you got the two running.
Okay, great. Thank you. Run that one too. Okay, you shut it off.
Did Chip send you these files that Crescent sent?
Send me the file, yeah.
Oh, prior to you? Chip should be here.
Yeah, but he didn't have a printer, so he couldn't send me the content.
Okay, we can't get past this area.
Do you represent Richard or Bill?
Both.
Both,
Yeah.
okay. I have a couple of questions. One of the files that I got was from Derek's school
Yes.
for trainees.
Yes.
Derek's office says he didn't do the work, but the transfer disclosure says the work was done. Do you know who did it?
I would assume Derek did it. I have no
I don't know. I
idea.
called his office. He wasn't in, but his secretary or whatever.
We're gonna pause for a moment, and
I have no idea.
we're gonna try and
I'll ask the seller, yeah.
pull back just a little bit
And then
see
he said that he got a permit, or on the transfer disclosure,
if we
it said
can
that there was a permit for the drainage.
tell what's going on in this area
It's required, but I didn't
with this
see one.
joint.
Okay.
Anyway, so there'll be
There's
some
very
others.
heavy root intrusion, and usually
Yeah,
I can
it
jump
is
right
much.
over it,
Yeah.
but I'm not able to get past this point. I'm gonna try a couple more times and see if I get lucky, but I'm gonna get past this point.
The other work was quite expensive.
Well, when you look at all the permits, and he was I suppose we should represent the buyer also, you probably don't end up doing it. All
I believe the roots are very thick in this area,
say ready,
very heavy,
meaning that they were
and
never
they're not
issued.
gonna let the camera get around there. They're
There's
covering
no sign off on them or anything like that. So,
probably the
I'm curious about what actually happened there.
bottom 50
And
to
then I read
60% of the
report,
piping,
and he said
so I doubt I'm gonna be able to jump over that because I'm in a turn as it is. We're coming down a little bit, we're dropping in,
that he reviewed.
and the camera's gonna hug the bottom.
Stuff that
So more than likely we're not gonna get around this.
Right.
just see how it plays out.
And this is in the 6-inch in the street. We're gonna stop and we're gonna mark this out real quick. We're gonna locate it.
Did you finally get through?
No. If you want to take a look at this, you can see. You see, take the locator off, you can see it a little bit better. I mean, it's, let me try and pull it back a little bit. It's covering about the bottom 50 to 60%.
And this is where?
This is in the street.
Oh, that's right.
So you got a little bit of an opening at the top.
Yeah.
That's covering the majority of the pipe on the bottom. So that's why I'm just burying myself in the roots, and the roots are pretty stout. They're pretty strong, so I can't get past it. That needs to be hydrojetted.
Okay.
You're not going to be able to really clean it with a snake, with a cable,
Yeah, because
you're dropping down from the 4-inch into the 6-inch, and you're at a pretty good draw. So I would really hydrojet it, then we can really the joints look like. But they don't look, from what I can see pulling back, they don't look terrible. They don't look like they're really offset and shifted to a point to where you can't line it. Like I said, it's pretty short because the manhole's only maybe 8 feet, 9 feet into the street.
okay.
So it's probably right past here. Maybe another 2-3 feet is where we're going to drop into the city sewer.
Okay.
So if it's short enough and it's not too offset, you can line that while you do the rest of it. Pull the rest of the line.
Oh, cool. Okay.
So that's not too bad. But I'd have to have it jetted so I can really inspect it and make sure that that saddle connection at the city sewer isn't broken or anything. Because if it's broken, then you can't pull it. Then you have to dig it up and replace it. You can pull a new line out there instead of putting a liner. But you actually have to dig in the street to do that.
Okay. And all our spoons down.
We're going to pause our recording for a moment. Okay, we've marked this area out in the street, and now we're going to start pulling back. As you can see, it's covering about 50 to 60% of the pipe. That's pretty bad right there. And I couldn't get past that point. We ran water, we did everything we could. And this is in the 6-inch in the street. It's kind of a short lateral, so I don't think I have that much further to go. That joint's offset a little bit, but not terrible. Now coming back, another joint. That joint's separated, good separation in it, but not offset too bad, so you could still install a liner in this lateral from what we can see right here. Now we're making the turn and we have more root intrusion. It's offset, and it looks like at about the 11 o'clock area that clay's broken up there a little bit, right in that area. It's kind of hard to see a little bit, but it does look like it's broken right there. I can see a piece of clay where we shouldn't see clay like that. That is offset. Then we come back and there's a crack in there. We can see the crack just inside the hub. There's a pretty large offset here. And this is coming back into the 4-inch. This piece probably cracked pretty good back a little ways as well. That's some pretty strong root intrusion right there. And we got another offset root intrusion here. And maybe a crack right inside that hub as well. It's kind of hard to tell. Can't get it to stop right there. It's jumping over the hub. We got some root intrusion in here, and as we come back up, we got more root intrusion in that joint, and then we have root intrusion in this joint as well, and offset. When we come back a little bit further, you'll see we got a major offset right here. We're actually butting up against the face of the pipe. I'm going to force it back in, and now you see as I pull back slowly, we're just going to drop down. We drop down quite a bit. So there's a large offset there. And then we're making a turn and we're pulling back up. We're going to come back up to a point. There's a little root intrusion there on the right. And we're going to pull back to where the plastic starts. And then we'll locate that area. There's a pretty good offset as well. You can see the whole face of the pipe on top, not on the bottom. We had some root in that joint as well. Now we're coming up. Another offset. That shifted pretty good. And then we transition to plastic. So we're going to stop here for a moment. We're going to locate this area. Everything from here back looked to be okay. But this is only a short distance of plastic. Okay, we've marked this area out, which is the ABS plastic was taken to this point. It is for the railroad ties. And now we're going to start pulling back at this point. And all our ABS plastic to this point appeared to be in good condition. Now we're pulling out of our mainline cleanout. And that will conclude our video sewer inspection.